This camera got all loosey-goosey. It's tilted. I don't think it's actually even. I think it's at a jaunty angle. I'd have to get my phone out and, use it as a level here. Maybe we can figure this out. It's Wednesday. Hi, everybody. Let's see if the camera is level. Weird. It is 0 degrees, baby. I guess the light then is because it's inside a ring light, and the ring light it must just be the ring light is all cocked up, cocked out. It's Wednesday. It's time to get cocked out. I don't know. Hi. Some video games we discussed on the podcast yesterday. I thought maybe I would take a look at a couple of those today. Yeah, see how some of that stuff goes, and we'll look at a few games. The Rogue Prince of Persia is a clever name for turning the Prince of Persia into some form of roguelite. I think that's a tremendous work on their part. It is on Steam right now in early access, and it is $20. I will tell you up front that I think this game is cool, but perhaps a little light on content right now. And that is maybe the main problem with it in terms of like recommending it. Like if you're, it's like a personal thing at this point. I think I still see a lot of people who refuse to buy games that are in early access. And I respect that. I think that's fine. I think that's absolutely an okay way to go. I think that's a sensible thing to do in situations where, because we've seen some early access games go sideways in ways where they just never get the updates, so they kind of get abandoned and stay in early access forever, which is weird. I don't think Ubisoft will do that here. They're not a cut and run company in that specific way. But at the same time, I don't think there's a ton of content in here right now. So it's like, unless you really want the thrill of playing a game as it is further developed and as it kind of is built out, you use your judgment on stuff like that, as you always do. But let's fire this up here, and I'll show you some of it. Let's get it. Where's the... Okay. Controller recommended, it says. Hello, controller. There are things about this that I think are, similar to Dead Cells, which is what Evil Empire has been working on for the past handful of years. My understanding is that they were kind of handed the keys to Dead Cells so that the original studio could go on to work on something else. Though even there, like the original studio, like some people left, and it was a co-op, and there were some hurt feelings, and by hurt feelings I mean, weren't there lawsuits? Maybe there were some lawsuits as well. I can't remember, but also the studio behind this, Evil Empire, has had its share of people not being super thrilled about how they treat their employees. So, hey, what I'm saying is, it's a video game in 2024. And so here we are. This is the camp that you return to every time you die. And I'll show you a little bit of the mobility stuff here. Say if you're kind of diving attack, the wall run, obviously the wall run leading to triangle jump. There's this B button here. So imagine that this fire is an enemy and it's about to hit me. I can at any point hit B, or circle if you will. I'm sorry, that didn't work at all. That just did the dash. Okay, maybe it only does it when you're up close to an actual enemy. So you have a dash. You have a wall run, which is not the sideways walls. It's the back wall, as you see. And you can kind of wall run in. You can use the analog stick to change the direction of your wall run as you're doing it, which is weird. It's kind of awesome. It's like a neat idea. Like so you can combine things like, okay, we're wall running up the back wall, then we're jumping off it and doing the air dash, and like there's interesting mechanics on display here. If I hold down the attack button, he'll do like a special. You also have a kick, which you can use to kick enemies into things, and you have a ranged weapon, which is limited in ammo, and you have this guy who wants to tell me something. Oh, I unlocked this last time. So Zagros Village is the area you normally go to, but on my last run, I did unlock Hun's camp. And I'm not really sure what to make of that. We'll find out. I guess it'll probably just be a different area. These are fast travel points. A lot of spikes. This guy's got so that the health, he's got a shield there. I gotta bust that off him. So here's this B button thing. See, like I will leap up over, and I grab that thing. We'll let him get out of the way here. So he's winding up. I'm like, fuck you. I'm jumping around and turning around in midair and getting behind him. It's interesting. It's like such a weirdly specific mechanic. Like I said on the podcast yesterday, it's like dedicate to a face button. It's interesting. He kicked that guy, I believe, to his death. Wobble base is back. I know what you're saying. It never left. They made this game in France, fool. And I go, yeah, all right. See, it's... Hey, look at that. There was a treasure down here. When an enemy collides with an obstacle, restore 15% energy points. I assume that's not health. I assume that's like the charge for my ranged shot. So you see, like, there's this weird 4-tiered system here, and you see this comes with the ability in question and also an up arrow to the right of it, which means it will upgrade the ability I slot next to it. So if I were to put something in slot 2 here, it would be a level 2, you know, assuming it has multiple tiers. It will be upgraded, which is a neat idea, depending. You know, I feel like I have not seen enough abilities yet to really get a great feel for how that will go. So we can get a bow that does more damage. What is this? Health insurance for every gold spent. Restore half a health point. You don't really get out that many opportunities to spend gold, but that's not... This just gives me a bunch of health, which is not the worst thing for where I'm at right now and how much damage I have taken. Let's do that. I also have like a charge to the one in the corner there as like a healing. Ah, come on. When an enemy is killed, receive 5 gold coins. So this upgrades 2 slots to the left. But also this Spartan thing is only a 1-tiered thing. It doesn't have any upgrades at all. So there's no point in upgrading that slot. I could put it here and upgrade this one immediately to 10. Or I could do this and double upgrade this empty middle slot in case I see something I like better down the line. I do this and upgrade the both. Let's do that. Let's do that. I don't know. It's a lot of, enemies that you cannot stun out of their windups. And so, you wail away on them until the last minute and then jump over them or dash out of the way or kick them into another enemy or, or what have you. Like that. Hurl daggers at nearby enemies for every vault you perform. 40 damage per dagger. That sounds kind of cool. But this is also a thing that can't be upgraded, so... But it upgrades the thing to the right of it, so we could upgrade this. I guess, I don't know. Can I move these around? No, once they're slotted, they're slotted. Does the movement feel floaty? Not especially. I don't know. It's the thing I don't like about it is that you move using the analog stick. And there's like, you can walk, but like the dead zone and some of the dead zone by default, and you really only have like creep and move. And it's a really narrow window on the stick to creep, and I don't see any real benefit to doing so. So I would much rather be using the D-pad here, but the D-pad is used for healing and interacting with things and whatever else. So I don't really see I guess we could reduce that dead zone. Or not. Is this just non-functional? Yeah. That button doesn't do anything here. So, okay, great. In theory, that will work someday, I guess. All right. The mind map contains all important information you've gathered and is useful for defeating the Huns. Some information may be interlinked. Someone has been captured. Question mark, question mark. Great. Sleight of poison hits from behind. I guess. Well, if I put this here, well, I don't know. Let's do that. Ah. A hot question mark. Sacrifice 250. Sure, why not? Every time I break a shield, spread resin. Every time I do a dive, spread resin. I don't really want either of these things. Oh, great. I did a dive right onto the spikes. Good stuff. Ah! Sometimes you get going a little bit and fuck up. There's a lot of spikes in some of these levels. See, look at that. Yeah, the graphical style, I see some people in chat, what's the word? Shitting on it. I suppose is the word. And I don't love it. It's okay. I don't like. I've definitely, you know, haven't seen a lot of games quite like it, I suppose. Okay, we'll do that. And then we came all the way up here and got 88 gold. Sure. Reminds you of Shank. Yeah, yeah, okay. I mean, all right, better daggers. Flaming counter for every hit taken, restore. Now, with all the upgrades, that might be kind of cool. Set fire to the area every time I get hit. Now that I'm doing that dagger throw every time I do the leap, that's kind of cool. And much like a Dead Cells, you know, you reach the end of an area and then go into kind of a different biome. Okay. Are those cells? Did I just get 5 cells? Is that... Spirit Glimmers. You can spend them at the Oasis to unlock new items. Okay, so here's your permanent currency. Okay. This is like my 3rd or 4th run. So it's still kind of like unlocking some of the basic stuff. When going through levels, yeah. So that, I assume that cashes them in and now they're mine. Oh, you know what? There's a big... So this is... The levels don't... While the levels do feel procedurally generated in some ways, like the aqueduct always starts with this thing. And there's always an item up there if you remember that you can do all that wall running shit. Which it's easy to forget. That guy throws bombs. I should have done the dive attack there. Ah. The music probably needs to be a little more, I guess, dynamic. Like, sometimes it sounds too intense for the scene. I'm getting fucked up here. Like, it doesn't always feel like it's, like, ramping up during combat and ramping down. I guess, yeah, I guess it's... Is it doing that? Yeah, I don't know. No, I guess it's not. Because it would have ramped back up right here. And here we go, sliding down again. Okay. Hot glimmers. That's not gonna... That's not a high enough jump to do that. Huh. Wonder if I could have crouched under that or what? Eh. Something to think about next time, I guess. Oh, no. This looks like an elevator of some kind. So that is the part about this game I like. I think that the wall run and this dash, which you can do in the air, the side wall climb and, you know, triangle jump stuff, I think that's all really interesting. And I think there's like potential in that for sure. But the rest of the game, I don't know. Like the look of it is yeah, like I said, I'm not necessarily in love with the art style. Like it's fine, it's interesting, but so we could swap that out for a sword. I think the sword just changes your special. It's not necessarily a full change to all of your attacks. Release a cloud of poison when hitting an enemy from afar. I'm gonna keep what I got. Well. Alright, so finally a case where this... I feel like that's the same level design, the same style as Dead Cells, where it just felt like there were a lot of fast travel points in areas where you would never ever use them. And then the only time they were ever useful is when they wanted to put like a little side area where like, oh, if you go down here, it's a dead end, but there's a shop or a boss or an item and we'll stop you from having to backtrack. Like that was always the only, it felt like the only reason for the fast travel stuff to exist in the first place. Oh. And I don't know about you, but I am starting to find the music to be a little annoying. It is not doing it for me. The music is fine. but has perhaps played that track a little too long. I don't know. Oh. I fell right into his trap. I am doing 2 damage to this fucking guy. And he has a shield. I do like that this wall run thing, it seems very vital. Because it's such a weird... I can't think of another game that did a wall run on the back wall. I cannot think of one right now. Yeah, that dude killed me. Hard. He killed me hard. I wonder if I was supposed to go down there and like maybe that's the option, is you don't do that fight until later or something. A target dummy down here. I think this game would benefit from a launcher. There are some cases where there are spikes on the ceiling. It would be fun to launch people up into the spikes. That would just be fun. For video gaming. Unlocked equipment can be found and equipped during later attempts. So yeah, that's okay. Yep. Grappling hook. Sick. Oh, but it's for combat. All right. That's fun too, I guess. Oh, here we go. A vertical... the special on this is a launcher. Okay. Cool. Oh, is this... what's this? Oh, so I can pick from, I guess, starting weapons. I can... oh, no, I can't pick. It just shows me what I have unlocked. Got it. So I'm going to need 10 times as many in order to get... yeah, thanks. Real helpful. So let's go this way this time instead. Oh, fuck you. Hey, that's what I would... you know, hey, if I was standing on a freaking pole, that's exactly what I would do. Nope. Whoop. It's just easy to get going. Like, you start mashing on the button, you start getting attacks going, and before too long, you've, like, attacked your way onto spikes. Okay. some kind of freaking dog. Some kind of rolled up dog thing. I don't know. Shield breaker. Inflicts more damage against enemies with shields. That sounds good. That sounds like a good thing. We'll put it here. Hi. What? All right, we'll just keep moving. Is there treasure down below? Probably. Am I missing out on weapons or something by not exploring down here a bunch? Maybe. Also, what's down here? A frickin' dog. I tried to do the vault there and it did not let me do it. Oh, I was trying to do the downward attack there, and it said, nah. That's kind of I wish I could do the flip attack there when the dog is rushing in, but because it's not close enough, it does the lunge instead, and so I end up lunging directly into it, which is less than ideal. Oh, hey, this fucker's in the... Hey. Not cool. Receive coins. Who cares? The chakram is nice. Okay. I wonder, you know, it's Prince of Persia conceptually, especially when you go back to the original game, makes a lot of sense for a game like this. But I wonder what else they would even... Last blow in the combo stuns nearby enemies. Special attack, forward lunge, inflicts heavy damage on enemies. Let's try this thing. That's a much slower attack. And then same deal. We end up in the ruined aqueduct. And up there's nothing but spikes. This slow attack, I don't know. I feel like I want to wail on especially the shielded guys like that. I want to get that shield off him as soon as I can, and that's not as easy with a slow-moving weapon like this. Let's see what the special looks like. Charge it up here. Oh, okay. Whole bunch of spikes. Sure, why not? What's the worst that can happen? It's a bouncing. It's a bouncing. It's a bouncing. For every vault you perform, hurl daggers. That was good last time. It does not. It does not take any upgrades, so we'll put it over here. This also does not take any upgrades, so we'll put it over here. Right? Did I fuck that up? No, that was right. Okay. That guy just did over 200 points of damage in one attack. Anyway, that's the Rogue Prince of Persia. The Rogue Prince of Persia. That's a very solid name. Very descriptive. If you know what they're saying, you're like, oh, the Rogue Prince of Persia. Of course. I think that's a solid name. But again, like you go back to the roots of Prince of Persia and some of the platforming and everything that it did back then. That game was certainly not as acrobatic as this game is, but I'd say what it was doing was extremely acrobatic for its time, and that's kind of neat. Like in some ways, this feels like. This game feels like it's true to the lineage in a way that I don't think most of the other Prince of Persia games are. You know, the latter-day Ubisoft Prince of Persia games that everyone seemed to like. There's another person here. It's almost like we're going to build a town and... Gonna hang out, hit this drum. But yeah, this I think the big complaint I've seen from it is, is people saying that it really only has a couple hours worth of content and they're blasting through it and all that. I have not blasted through it, I suppose, but for a game in early access, it seems like it is actually early access. It is not one of these situations where you're getting a 90% complete game and they're just gonna make some tweaks here at the end. This seems like that there's like quite a bit of content left for them to put into the game. I'm sure that will maybe sway some people one way or the other in terms of if it's something they want to check out now or wait for. Oh, that just popped up a browser. Okay. I like the way Hades does some of this stuff in-game, where it's like, just ready to convey the news to you immediately. But yeah, I don't know. I love Dead Cells. I think this game has bits and pieces of that DNA, for what should seem like fairly obvious reasons. But it doesn't just feel like a Prince of Persia skin on Dead Cells. It feels like its own thing with a lot of similarities to what Dead Cells did, and that's attractive. I don't know. Like I always feel like I should go back and play more Dead Cells. That's always a good idea. It's always a good idea to go back and play more Dead Cells, I suppose. But especially because there's a bunch of updates that came out that I never went back and played. So there's probably, even though I saw a whole lot of Dead Cells, there is somehow a bunch of Dead Cells that I have yet to see. I don't remember if I even played the Castlevania thing they did or not. I might have tried it like once. I might have looked at it like once or something. But yeah, they ended up, they did a lot to that game for a long time. I know one of the original Dead Cells developers who had left the studio when when the support for Dead Cells got pulled, when it was like, okay, we're done with Dead Cells now, he had some things to say about how that was some straight up bullshit and that they kind of left Evil Empire hanging on that. I guess the thing I would say to that is I don't know anything about the specifics of that, and I'm willing to take that at face value, but at the same time, the support for Dead Cells lasted so long. I can't imagine anyone is coming away from Dead Cells thinking like, I can't believe they didn't put more in it. Like it's like that game got a lot. And yeah, I so much so that I at some point stopped checking back on it to see what had been put into it. And maybe I should go back and, mess with some Dead Cells one of these days. But that's the Rogue Prince of Persia. It's $20. It's on Steam, and it is definitely an early access game.